many hundreds of people suing the government because they would like to be air traffic controllers, but they were turned away because of the color of their skin. That policy ends under Donald Trump's leadership because safety is the first priority of our aviation industry.
Y'all didn't catch that? Air traffic controllers, people who want to be an air traffic controller, they've sued. They've sued because of the color of their skin.
You don't get it.
Y'all need to see, y'all always gotta pay attention. He didn't say gender. He didn't say sexuality. It was the color of their skin.
So what's the problem?
Y'all know it ain't that many black and brown air traffic controllers, right?
I have an air traffic
We're
controller
not
in my
done
family.
yet. Here is the former TV host, who's now the Secretary of Defense, Peter Hegseth. Listen to the racism in his statement.
Whoa.
We will have the best and brightest in every position possible. As you said in your inaugural, it is colorblind and merit-based. The best leaders possible, whether it's flying Black Hawks and flying airplanes, leading platoons, or in government. The era of DEI is gone at the Defense Department, and we need the best and brightest, whether it's in our air traffic control, or whether it's in our generals, or whether it's throughout government.
Y'all didn't catch that?
What?
Skin color. Black people. Latinos. He talking about y'all too. Brown people. He talking about Cambodians. He talking about Asians. Native Americans.
We know he ain't talking about Asians.
Who ain't white. But white women, he really talking about y'all too.
Oh my gosh, this guy is hysterical, bro. He has to be joking. He has to be.
Wait, in what sense did they mention blackness? Why is everything about black people? These motherfuckers want to be included so bad.
He doesn't get. I don't think he actually gets like that. DEI is basically discrimination.
I just want to understand. I just want to understand.
He doesn't
Like,
get it.
if black people make up 4% of the recipients under DEI and 1.3% of government contracts under DEI, and everyone else is being attacked under DEI, and we're like at the complete bottom of crumbs of DEI, how is this about black people?
It's not.
Yeah, it's just about the whole program of DEI in the first place.
It's about all races.
Statistically speaking, under DEI, a white homosexual or white woman or immigrant or someone of that nature would benefit over a black person. So why?
Yeah, black people don't get it. I was literally talking to somebody about it last night. I tried to explain to them about DEI, and they said they still think it's an attack. Like them, like replacing DEI or getting rid of it is an attack on black people. I tried to explain to them, but they just don't get it.
I don't think they want to get it.
It's because that's what they were told for so long, bro. It's too late.
I just don't think black people think they can succeed in America without all these crutches. But that's just because they've been told that everything's against them and rah, 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 rah. But if everything's against them, right, and we have black people on TV who are at these predominantly white networks saying America is racist while these white networks are cutting them a check, how is that a fact? Like, how did you get into this position that you're in to be able to do what you do if America is racist?
Imagine if you're trying to keep a race down, right? Would you rather tell them you have a chance, you could be successful, you have an even chance, or tell them you ain't got no shot, you know, it's
need
not
this,
in your favor.
You need
these things. What would you tell them if you wanted them to fail?
High key, you are better off having none of these DEI not in place because you can succeed more. If you believe that you can succeed, they're basically not allowing stuff to be held against.
Perspective is very important, bro. So if you believe that you have a chance and that things are fair for you, that is how things will align for you. But if you perceive the world as unfair and as a victim, like we know, then it is more likely that that is the way things will go for you. So, in order to hold black people down, I believe that the left, the far left, Democrat extremist people, not, you know, the regular people, but, you know, the people really who I believe are really racist, are pushing that because that will hold black people down. The reason, that was one of the main reasons I came to the right, because that right there, like truly.
What JD said and what Pete said was 110% facts.
Instead of, I know a number of people who voted for Donald Trump for the first time. They were so disgusted than what they felt was happening in the Biden administration. I talked to many of them this week. Instead of talking about the economy, I was fielding questions on whether or not the Trump administration wanted to stop commemorating Black History Month, Women's History Month, Hispanic Heritage Month.
This is the directive at a lot of the agencies, but DOD today put out a memo saying no more celebration of history months.
Or Holocaust Remembrance Day or MLK
So
Day.
I was fielding all of these questions. So when people said that they voted for Donald Trump because they were concerned about, the price of eggs and all of these type of things, because of Donald Trump's own doing, we're having to have this conversation about DEI. DEI, for many people, and I call them the woke right, it has become a...
Actually, didn't the Supreme Court get away with that before? They were already banning it in
Affirmative action.
Oh, that was affirmative action. Yeah. Wait.
Which is the same thing
Yeah, I
in
was like,
schools.
Is that the same thing?
It's
They were
DEI
already getting rid
school,
of it.
Yeah.
So I was fielding all of these questions. So when people said that they voted for Donald Trump because they were concerned about, the price of eggs and all of these type of things, because of Donald Trump's own doing, we're having to have this conversation about DEI. DEI, for many people, and I call them the woke right, it has become a stand-in for being Black and unqualified. And what I would like for the Trump administration to do, Susie Wiles, I love her, never met her, want to meet her one day. I want them to ask the team, what was our message coming out of this week? And if they say that they felt as if it was successful, then we're going to have a very long 4 years.
Can I make a provocative argument here? What if Donald Trump also won because of the people who think that Black people and trans people and women are taking things that belong to them? Isn't it possible that he actually won for that reason, and that they don't think that this is a messaging, change of course, but this
it
is
doesn't
this is
represent
the
the
course.
majority of those who
But
voted
they
for
could
Donald
very well think
But yes.
that this is the course that they are supposed to be on.
Yes, I think this
Let's
is...
just take a pause, bro.
Statistical data will show you that DEI doesn't benefit Black people in the way that it benefits white women, Asians, immigrants, and homosexuals. Yet Black people are taking the stance that DEI is some armor that's put them up in life. But statistical data of facts in real world experiences says the complete opposite.
Numbers don't lie.
So where is this narrative that DEI is an attack on Black people and that Black people are the face of DEI when stats and data and facts says the complete opposite?
So it's propaganda.
It's literal.
Yeah.
It's literal. It's literally what I think this narrative is doing is just a way to pull at the emotional strings of Black people and tell them that this administration is against you, that this is an attack on you, and that this is racism. But data itself says that white women, Asians, immigrants, and homosexuals, LGBTQ people benefit at an extremely high rate.
How do Asians benefit from it?
They do. Because they do. Statistically.
But I know in affirmative action, they definitely were hurt by that.
White women, Asians, immigrant people, non-American people all benefit higher from DEI than Black people.
But that's the thing. In
Statistical data
positions,
says so.
Different positions, different jobs, everybody benefiting a little differently.
Yeah.
So let's just get away with it.
I just don't understand.
'Cause it's not fair.
I just don't understand that this is just like some attack on Black people. I actually feel like this is doing Black people a disservice.
No, actually, they actually calling Black people dumb by saying this, because they're saying that Black people aren't going to look up the stats. They aren't going to really research.
Well, they're saying that they need extra help because they're blaming it on the racism, but
they're saying they're dumb in that way too. But if hearing those facts, they're also saying that Black people are dumb because they're pushing this narrative and it's completely not helping Black people more than any race. It's just straight propaganda, bro. See, Asians, they're hurt in school, but then they're hurt in school, but then they could be, I guess, help somewhere else,
Yeah, because they definitely hurt. Because I remember with the Harvard thing, like they said a Black person had a way higher chance to get into Harvard than the Asian just because they got a lot of smart Asians at Harvard.
So that's all J.D. Vance and them were saying. Let's not do stuff based off race. Let's do it off merit and how qualified you are.
Yeah. Let's do it like the NBA.
That's just what it is.
Let's adopt the NBA because, we got the best players are in the NBA.
What economic anxiety has sometimes been euphemized to refer to, that people feel like they're losing their status in society and maybe their ability to climb up the socioeconomic ladder, and the easy scapegoat is the black and brown and people and women who are taking their place, who are robbing them of their opportunities. One thing I want to add to this discussion, besides the career effects on people of color and women and other groups, other underrepresented groups in government, among other positions, who may suffer because of the comments that Trump made about DEI causing these plane crashes, is that Trump surrounds himself with lackeys who have historically been shown that they are motivated to sort of backfill and retrofit evidence to fit whatever his predetermined conclusion is. So if we want to prevent tragedies like this from happening again, I would not trust whatever investigation they put together, because Trump has already determined that the cause of this problem is DEI. If there's something else that's lurking here that could put people at risk again, we may not find out.
I actually do. I've talked to a lot of aviation experts this week. I have confidence in the NTSB. That is a gold standard agency in this country, and honestly in the entire world of aviation. But I mean, to her point, I think there are questions about whether this is going to be a witch hunt for the evidence to support this claim. They are going to be hunting down the people who fit the DEI narrative in order to prove, oh, he was right all along.
I think I'm alone in this group. I think I'm kind of afraid to be alone in this group. I surveyed these people. I focus grouped them. And they are really, really tired of being accused of either racism or sexism because they voted for Donald Trump. And it's one of the reasons why so many of them did. I sat on this stage with you and got chewed out when I suggested there's a better language to reach out to voters, that the Harris campaign is missing what they're looking for. And I say the same thing here. Americans just want to be Americans, not hyphenated Americans, not female Americans, black Americans, Jewish Americans. They just want to be Americans.
How do you think it makes people feel, black people, women, any person who has immutable characteristics about themselves, to be told every time that something happens that because they exist in a particular role, it is their fault? How does it make them feel?
How does it make people feel when they're told that they're a racist?
No. I mean, answer.
But
answer my question.
I am, because these are predetermined considerations.
No.
You were
You're telling me I'm calling.
Do you want an answer?
Well, you're not answering my question.
From a company's website, their commitment to DEI: 37% Asian, 24% white, 22% Latino, 7% two-race, biracial, 10% black. And y'all crying about DE-damn-I? Hold on, there's another one.
See, black people was really confident in their skills. They said, you know what? We're going to be 50%
See,
now.
but a lot of black people are.
Here's another graph of a company's diversity, equity, inclusion 2022. Hires by race and ethnicity: 41% white, 26% Asian, 21% Hispanic. They got Native Hawaiian on there. They small. 2 or more races small. 8% black.
So, but this is the thing, though.
But this is an attack on black people.
But maybe they think that we not getting it because they saying that black people might not even get hired if we don't have that.
But there's no statistical data that
I
can
think
even,
if you have the resume.
That's what they're saying.
I think that this is what I think, bro. This is real shit right here. Businesses want to make money. If you are the best person to make them money, they will hire you.
And that's how it
period.
should be.
And that's how it should be.
That's how it happens in America.
If you don't think that money runs the world and runs businesses, then I don't know. But that's what I think. And so that doesn't make, I think like a football coach, whoever is going to win the game, that's who's gonna be in the game. See, that's who the coaches they're gonna have.
People think they're gonna be left behind.
I just would like them to start presenting a number and data of how other races have proportionally benefited more from DEI and affirmative action than black people, rather than having black people be this scapegoat and tug at this emotional attack on black people, saying, oh, DEI is going to hurt black people, affirmative action is going to hurt black people, when statistical data that's presented and is available to the world will tell you that you don't even benefit as much as white women or all these other races.
So what do you tell a black person that says that they don't think they're going to get the job now at all because their DEI is not in place anymore?
I'm gonna say qualifications, brother. Go to school. Make yourself valuable. You know how you make yourself valuable to a job? You make yourself a valuable person. What can you bring to this job? What experiences do you have? Does your resume show that you are committed to something and learning? Does your resume show that you have these qualities? Do you have references and people that can vouch for you? Make yourself valuable. If you don't have that, then maybe you won't succeed without DEI. But if you're a person that can show that you can show up, work, and you're committed and you're qualified and you're educated in a certain field, hey, you'll succeed. You'll be fine.
Get the best resume. It's competition, bro. Things, look at it like everything else. If you wanna get it, you gotta be better than the next man. You gotta make them make more money with you. Period.
You were telling me that
Your response is in bad faith. I mean, what she is saying is something you're not responding to because it doesn't address why Donald Trump immediately went to DEI as an explanation without any evidence whatsoever.
He shouldn't have said that.
For
I have something
what
to say.
looks to be an inexcusable and certainly a very devastating and tragic.
I mean, statistically, if we're going off the data, there was a white woman involved in the crash. She was one of the pilots. White women benefit from DEI the most.
Said that yesterday.
So for him to say that DEI may have been a problem,
I said that.
No, and
It's too early. We don't have hard evidence to prove it.
And I said that. But statistically speaking, if white women are the highest beneficiaries of DEI, and there was a white woman pilot in the helicopter that crashed into the commercial flight, saying, hey, DEI could be to blame for this, statistically speaking, is a fact.
No, it is a fact. I do believe it's a fact, but it's bad to do that.
And I completely agree. And I said that yesterday on the video. I completely agree with that take. I'm 100% with you. Knowing that no black people were involved in this, right? And him saying, hey, DEI could be to blame. And there's no black people involved. And they're saying he's saying this to attack black people, black people, black people.
That is a good point.
You just want to be involved.
No,
You're
crazy.
just looking for a reason to be mad. Because if he's saying, hey, DEI could be to blame for this, and there's no black people to blame for this, and now you're saying, hey, he's blaming black people. What?
That's a good point.
That is logically
that debunks
flawed.
it right there.
That is ignorant as fuck. To say that,
but I still agree that you shouldn't have said that because it's bad PR. It's too early. The people, you know how emotional people are. A lot of American people just died.
Facts.
You can't just sit there and say that yet. I'll just sit there and just be like, this is sad. This is bad. We need to figure out what happened. You know, we need to get the evidence. But I just don't think that it was good to do that.
And I agree. And I said that
but
on the video yesterday.
Yeah, you know,
but again,
it could be possible.
But again, just if you factually look at this argument and apply logic to it, okay, he's blaming DEI. There's no black people involved. He's saying DEI could be a fault here. Why are you as a black person saying, hey, him saying DEI is racist to me? There's no black people involved. You don't benefit from DEI. I mean, are you dare I say
hey, black people just want to be, they want to be back in civil rights.
No. These
this is race hustling,
and
bro.
I hate
it's these people's fault that our people think the way they think.
That's why I always blame the media, bro. It's the media, bro.
These niggas, and I hate referring to black people as niggas, but it's irritating me. These niggas are just looking for some shit to be mad at.
An helicopter crash a couple of days ago, and instead you pivot to talking about how terrible it is that some people who voted for Donald Trump are being called racist and sexist. You're refusing to grapple with the central tension.
My understanding.
Frank, it's an option.
Hold on.
Frank, it's an
because
option
my
for
understanding
Trump.
is of the voter.
Frank,
that is what I do.
It is an option.
What about
for
the immorality and the incompetence
Frank,
of
it's an
blaming
option
DEI
for Donald
for what
Trump.
happened?
You guys can all jump on me. That's
No,
fine.
I'm not jumping on you. I'm trying to have a conversation with you. Okay, look, it is an option for Donald Trump to respect his voters and not scapegoat race in a situation like that.
How is he
chooses not to
scapegoating
every
race?
time. Why?
He is saying, and I do not defend him, and I've not defended him on this program because there are things that are more important than Republican and Democrat, and it's why some people lost primaries and some people are not members
He's
of
not a good
Congress
debater,
anymore.
bro.
Yeah, who is this idiot? They brought him on here to make Republicans look bad.
No. He's cooking to me. He's cooking.
He's not debating
he has
well,
a good
bro.
point.
But listen,
good
but
point.
like
Scott would be grilling their ass right now, bro.
But listen. The points he's arguing is completely irrelevant to what the
but he really
conversation
not debating
at hand
well,
has been.
bro.
Like you're not the points he's making
Well, let's see
here.
what he says. Let's see what he says.
Like what he's trying to do is defend. But listen,
You know we agree with the points. What I'm saying, bro. He's arguing better.
Just based on the substance of what he's saying compared to what the argument at hand is here, he's not doing a good job. Because what his argument is, they're attacking Trump supporters. No, brother.
That's not what they're talking about. They're talking about what Trump said.
But they're not talking Trump supporters.
I'm talking about what Trump said.
But
Yeah.
they are doing that. Abby brought that up.
That was the side
Abby
point.
brought that up,
That was the
she
side
did bring
point.
that up.
Yeah, she did.
So
She
how
did.
Yeah, she brought that up.
There are things that are more important than Republican and Democrat, and it's why some people lost primaries and some people are not members of Congress anymore.
He
I'm trying to
cooking
tell you
me.
the truth.
Well, look, you don't have to listen.
not-
I just won my
Hold on,
primary,
hold
but
on,
you don't have to lecture
Mondare,
me.
hold on,
Would you let me
Mondare. Let me
finish?
let him
I
finish.
mean, if you're gonna throw shots, I'm just
Mondare, just a second.
He
Let me let him
cooking
finish.
me. Cook his ass.
This is why this show is such a challenge for me, because I really am, and I've been on this show and criticized him many times. I've been on this show and praised him. In the end, how do we get beyond how we look? How do we get beyond how we sound? Because in the end, we all have a right to a point of view, and I respect yours, regardless.
I
of
just
what
don't
you-
respect the gaslighting and the bad faith conversation.
I
That's all.
also think you cannot talk about getting beyond all of those things, race, hyphens, whatever it is, when at the highest offices of the land, you have someone saying, because there is diversity, there is
Possible.
a lack of merit, there is a lack
Possible.
of quality, there is a lack of experience.
Statistically
That
facts.
is a racist view. That
What?
people who have characteristics that they cannot change about them, that don't tell you anything about their intellect, about their experience, are by definition not experienced. Do you understand that?
You see what she just
I
did?
do, because I listen to this, I hear this, and I internalize it. And for those who feel like they're being marginalized, we have to do more. I agree with you.
It's not even just about being marginalized. It's just
But
about
I-
recognizing
I
that.
just said I agree with you.
I know. I'm saying, but look, I'm
You're
not
not
trying to
gonna
use
hear me.
academic. I'm not trying to use academic language to talk about this. I'm just saying that there are people. Look, a couple days ago, there was a Harvard-educated Olympic track star was told that she wasn't qualified to have gone to Harvard. That she was basically a DEI admin
Talking
to
about Gabby
Harvard.
Thomas.
Yeah,
they said that
there's
to her
people
on
on
X.
Twitter.
What is, I mean, that just from a human
Yes, that's
perspective,
wrong.
that is
We
wrong.
all
That's
agree
wrong.
that's
May
wrong.
I ask you a question
We
about
all
this?
agree
Can we
with
stop?
that, but there's nothing I can
I don't
say
wanna
to
hear
you
this shit
on
no
this
more.
panel for any of you that's going to satisfy
No, no, no.
you.
Facts.
May I ask
See,
a
he's
question?
not gonna.
That's the problem.
See, he's a
He
pussy.
keep crying about it,
He's
bro.
a pussy.
Make your point.
He's a terrible
By the way
arguer.
Democrats talked about
And-
some of these things.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the
But
bully
do
him.
you think that this is the antidote? That I think that's the question here. I mean, you can be critical of terms that Democrats have used, but it's not clear to me how this approach is better. In fact, it seems exponentially worse to be scapegoating, whether it's hyphenated Americans or otherwise, any group of Americans for this tragedy, to be purging government data from websites under the guise of DEI and rooting out wokeness. I guess that's where I think there's a bit of a disconnect here. It's
I
like,
agree with you.
okay,
I agree with you.
It's
And you're
funny,
probably
dude.
surprised.
He's making no point.
His goal in all of
Scott
this,
would have came with a point.
How do we
Bam.
get to the point when you're judged by our merit, when you're judged by our performance?
Think he's
I've
doing
had
good,
two
me.
experiences. Number one is my house
You easy
almost burned
crowd.
down in Brentwood. I wasn't even there to see it. And I want the best people possible to be on the front lines fighting that fire. I landed 55 minutes before
Not
this
a
plane
transgender.
landed. I could have been on it. So I feel it. I hear this and I get it. And you're correct and you're correct. The question is, do we beat up on it and yell about it and complain? Or do we try to get a solution? Do we try to get beyond it? And the problem is, there's nothing I can say that's going to convince you.
But in order for us to get beyond it, Donald
Scott
Trump
ain't crying
and the
about that
white
shit,
vote,
bro.
they
He gonna
have
make
to
his
stop
points,
talking
bro.
about it. The reason that we're talking about it is because it was a deliberate decision that the Trump administration made. I would much rather be talking about the economy and some of the other things that I know that the Donald Trump administration is going to do, but we're not in the now second week of the Trump administration. We are
Hold on,
ending
bro.
it
Go
talking
back real
about
quick.
DEI
Since he's the
because
chair.
this was a
Of the
decision
black,
that they made.
of
And to
blacks
be clear,
for
our
Trump.
discussion of it
Is that what that
not
said?
out of
Yes.
nowhere.
So he's a Republican.
It's not
Yes.
something we created out
Man,
of whole
that's
cloth.
cap,
It
bruh.
doesn't mean that we're harping on something that the American people would rather we
Can
not
I-
talk about.
I wanna say
It is
something.
responding directly to
over.
something that happened.
And the only person who to your point, injected race into this is Donald Trump. We could be having a very
No, he
normal
did not.
investigation into a
No,
national
he did
tragedy,
not. You-
comforting these families. But this is the conversation that not only do they want to have, but they are making it the only conversation around what happened here. And that is not just wrong from a moral perspective, but it's also a missed opportunity to keep Americans safe.
Okay. I would like to do.
How is he for blacks for Trump?
I would like to say something. The way she broke
I ain't
down,
never seen
like
him.
she said, Trump saying that because we have diversity, you're less qualified. Your race, you can't change. Who said that? You said that. This is the problem with the mainstream media. They take things, they misconstrue it, they put their own spin on it to push their agenda. It's ridiculous.
And black people eat it up.
And they're making this a race thing. The only people who are making Trump's comments a race thing is the media. I think that were his comments bad timing? Yes. Do I think based on the statistics of DEI and the people involved, blaming DEI is a possibility? Sure.
Could be.
I mean, it benefits white women the most. It was a white woman pilot who crashed into the plane.
You can't say for certain that it's not.
You can't, knowing those facts, you can't say that it's not. Knowing those facts.
That's why I'm not mad at what he said.
Them saying
Bro,
that him saying DEI is to blame and they're making this, well, there's no black people involved. He's saying divert. No, bruh. No. Because no one said anything about people's race. No one made this a race thing. No one's saying that because there's diversity and it's making you less qualified. You said that.
The white dude, bro.
He didn't do bad.
Yeah,
he did horrible.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
I'm gonna keep it 100, bro. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100.
He did terrible.
I agree. I know what points he was trying to make, but just sitting there and we all saw what he did.
He was whining.
He was
saying,
booing and
I agree
whining.
with you.
He said, he said, I can't please you guys. Nothing they say is gonna make you happy.
Hey,
that's
can
what
I
he's
please
doing.
niggas? That's why I'm not mad at him for the white man for saying I can't. It's nothing I can do to please your niggas.
What does Scott do? What does Scott do?
It's nothing I can do.
What does Scott do, bro?
You right. You're right. Donald Trump said it. I'm sorry, but it should be off merit. I'm not mad at him getting his blood pressure up with these niggas. I'm not mad because I hate when I do it. So I'm not mad at what his brother said because everything he said was right. You can't argue with them niggas. So I'm not mad at what he said.
But hold on.
Could he
Would
articulate his points better?
Scott have done better?
No,
Yes.
but Scott's 100. No, I'm saying Scott's 100 overall.
All right. Well, this is the NFL. That's what we
Chill,
need.
bro.
We got eighth man off the bench over here. Ninth
bro.
man off the bench.
If the quarterback throwing picks, he threw some picks for my team, for the Republican team.
I don't think
I
so,
ain't gonna put
bro.
myself on a Republican
At
team,
least
but I'm
seeing
just
this-
saying.
You on the Republican team,
His
nigga.
Yeah, seeing this
his ass failed.
Yeah,
Whatever
okay.
point he was trying to articulate, he did a terrible job at it.
In the eyes of a nigga that's on Abby and them side, he failed.
Remember
In my
Byron
eyes
went on there?
of-
If Vivek went on there?
In my
Listen,
eyes
no,
of a
man,
black Republican,
I'ma just
I'm
keep it
saying
on
it's
it.
nothing you can do to please
Just
this
for him
nigga.
to
So he
articulate
right.
his
We
point.
know, but on
The
TV,
thing
you
is-
gotta argue the points because
only
you
thing
are the people we have appointed to do this.
Okay,
Not us, but you know.
okay. So if we're gonna argue that attacking DI is attack on race, then why do and this is attack on black people as they just tried to make?
It's not.
Which it's not. I'm gonna just say, okay, well, if this is attack on black people, then why does under DI initiatives y'all benefit the least? Y'all get the crumbs. You are statistically at the bottom of DI
That's a great
recipients.
point.
So if
But
you're at the
nobody gonna bring that
statistical
up.
bottom of DI recipients, and we're blaming DI for the failures that happened here, and you're making this a black thing, well, you're a damn dummy.
Well, that's why they're not.
That's
gonna
what I
bring us
would've went on there and
They're not
said.
gonna bring us on because of that point right there. Yeah, guys,
Man,
this
bro,
is
let me
insane.
get on here, man. I might start a fight.
This is insane.
I'm gonna call them up. They name.
Yeah, this is insane, guys. I mean, hey, it could be possible. That's all I'm gonna say. Yep, he shouldn't have said it, maybe. But hey,
We know.
I say,
Yeah.
hey, I'm gonna be honest. I say how I feel. Do we know Donald Trump say how he feels?
And he's the
But it was
president.
a bad time, you know. But he got as being the
He
president.
gave them fuel.
got-
Did he or did he not give them fuel? Yes, he did.
And guess what? He been giving them fuel, and he's the
Okay.
president.
Yeah, you're
so
right.
it don't matter. It
But-
doesn't matter at this point.
but it helps
Say
the
what you
argument.
think.
It helps the argument.
All those statistics he brought up.
It helps the
could
argument.
Be possible.
It helps the argument. It's bad for
They don't have
Republicans in the
an
future
argument. They don't have a
because they're gonna say
argument. They
JD
don't have an
Vance,
argument.
and it's gonna
They
hurt.
lost.
It's gonna hurt his chance to get elected.
They lost.
I know.
It's over.
But it's not. The race ain't up. They gonna keep running again every 4 years.
And guess what? We're gonna bring up that point. So why do black people boo 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 boo?
Let's hope. They don't work every time.
That also they're taking black jobs. Well,
All right,
guys.
man.